Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Tyler Price. And on my channel, we talk about books, money, productivity, lifestyle, and anything else that you want to talk about. So today we are going to discuss my January wrap-up. We're in February. January wrap-up. It is long overdue. It's the end of February and I'm finally getting around to doing my wrap-up. I read a lot of interesting books and wanted to share them with you. So if you're interested in kind of finding out what I read and what I thought about the things I read, stick around. So January was a great month, and my reading I just had so much fun reading everything that I had. And so to determine what I read, I have a formula that I use, and I choose 2 books from my 24 TBR, which I have a video I'll link below. I choose 2 books from the public library because I have an amazing library that we pay, a lot of money in taxes where I live for. So we need to, utilize the resources that we have. We're so fortunate. 2 books from my Kindle Unlimited because I pay, I think, is it $11.99 if you have Prime, or is it something 99? It's not $14.99, but I think it's like $12 or something like that. So I also have that. And then 2 kind of random books from wherever. And so my goal every month is to read 8 books. Now I'll read more than that, but really my goal is a minimum of 8 books. So I have my 2 list. With that, January was great in that I did meet all that formula. In fact, I think I read 3 from my 24 by 24 TBR. So I have my cheat sheet here because I can't remember everything. And so again, I enjoyed dark romance. I read a couple of books, loved regular romance, and even got into Mafia romance. And you guys, that I've been really enjoying Mafia romance. And so the first book that I read is Scarred by Emily McIntire. And it is the second book in the Never After, I think that's the series. I'll put the correct thing there. The Never After series. And this book follows Sarah and Tristan. And so Sarah is supposed to marry Michael, who's the king, and Tristan is the prince. Tristan is very jealous of his brother in that he feels he's the rightful heir to the throne. He should be the one that's ruling. And then Sarah is frustrated with Michael because she thought that Michael or that entire family killed her father. So she's set to marry Michael. She goes into the castle, and then Tristan sees her and falls for her. So a lot of things transpire. There are a lot of conflicts. This is really so much fun to read. I love this so much. I don't know if this is romantasy or dark romance. So I guess it could be categorized as both. I absolutely love this book. I give it 4 stars. Really enjoyed kind of spending time in this universe. Then the second book that I read related to dark romance is Hunting Adeline. This book is a mess, and it's a mess and it's also messy. I know a lot of people loved it and it's the greatest book they've ever read, no shade. I just felt like the book was definitely dark. I thought it was longer than it needed to be. And I think that's what happens when you have books that are independently published. The editors don't just kind of shave off, I don't know, maybe 150 pages of this book could have been, it's about almost 600 pages. I think 150 pages of this book was not necessary. It's a cat and mouse kind of situation. The guy that was hunting her, he saw her at a book signing. She's an author. He was like, oh, wow, you're kind of cute. And instead of him just going to her and introducing himself and kind of saying, I'm dark, but I still want to be with you, he starts stalking her. And then she falls for him. I just felt that don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. And I don't know if I'm going to read Hunting Adeline. I heard that it's very dark. But the book itself, I don't know. I gave it a 3. Did I give it 3.5 stars? I gave it a 3.5 stars. I was entertained. I don't know if I'll read the other one I made. They're just other books that I like to read now. But I'm sure I'm going to be curious, and my curiosity would need to be fulfilled, and I'll probably read the second one. 3.5 stars. I was entertained. So those are the 2 books that I read that under dark romance. And then I read regular romance. And these 2 books, I don't have the physical copy with me anymore. I checked them out from the library. And the first is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I absolutely love the book. The book follows Matt and Grace, who met in college nearly 15 years ago. So you have like present day, and then you have 15 years ago. And they met at NYU dorm and became good friends, hung out a lot, and then things kind of transpired from there. Something happened and they lost contact. So the way that the book starts is that you have Matt at a subway train station, and he sees this woman, and he knew her from a previous life, and so he was trying to find her. I love the book. I love the book in that around the time, y'all, I'm trying to fix my hair. In that the time that they were in New York in like the 2000s, I was in New York. I was living in the village at the same time. So living near NYU, going to NYU at the time. So it resonates so much with me just because I can connect with a lot of the storyline. Connect with a lot of kind of the quirkiness of New York that you have to be in New York to kind of get it. So I absolutely love this book. This was a 5-star rating for me. I love the book so much. I don't own a copy. I've been looking for a copy, so I'm gonna have to see if I could find a used copy somewhere, because I do love the book, and probably a book that I want to reread again. So after that, I was so into Renee Carlino that I wanted to read everything else by her. So I went to the library and I checked out Blind Kiss by her. And this is also a very similar kind of present day, previous day, where you have this couple, they got together when she was in college, and now it's present day, and she's married, she has a different life, but they're still best friends. And so it follows Gavin and Penny. So Gavin and Penny were together when they were in college, then they weren't together anymore, now they're best friends. And so things kind of transpire, and you see their relationship, how it develops, and also you see how, Penny's husband is jealous of their friendship, and it kind of bodes the question, can you really be friends with the opposite sex? I don't know. Or same sex, if that's what you're attracted to. I don't know, no shade. Like, I don't know. But yeah, can you really be friends with, and also can you be friends with someone who you were once in a relationship with? And so, but it was a good book. I gave it 3.5 stars. It wasn't as great as Before We're Strangers, but it was a good book. I still like her. I want to read other things that she's written, Renee Carlino, that is. I like her writing style, so I'll probably check out more things by her. And then I got into the Magnolia Parks universe. I absolutely got sucked into the universe. I was there. This book is messy. I have a video that I'll link below where I talked about kind of real life immediate responses to both Magnolia Parks and Daisy Haites. And again, I don't think this book is for everyone. You have to like that kind of writing style. And I do, where a lot of things that are happening are just happening during the conversation that they're having. So I absolutely loved it. I was entertained. I had to I was getting frustrated, especially Magnolia Parks. I was getting frustrated with her at first. And then I had to realize she's 22. Like, she's 22. Remember when you were 22, Thailand? She's 22. BJ, I guess, I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but I feel sorry for him, because I just feel like she curated this life around her, and then slowly but surely, as the books kind of progress, you see that things just kind of breaking apart, and the things that she held true to her, she was losing them. They were slipping from her. And so the only thing she really had to control is her relationship with BJ and her relationship with everyone around her, her friends. And so they all, adored her. BJ, their relationship had ended, I think 2 or 3 years prior to this book. But still she controls, maybe it wasn't a couple of years, I don't remember, but she still controls a lot of aspects of it. And so you see that. And then, of course, you have some side characters, and one of them being Christian, who is in love with her. No spoiler, you find this out in a couple of chapters in. And so you find that out, and then you just kind of like, oh my God, get over yourself, dude. But then Kristen shows up in Daisy Haites, and Daisy Haites is, so these are parallel universes where they're kind of interconnected. They live in the same area. They have friends that are friends. So when events are happening here, you also kind of find out kind of the backstory here. And so Daisy Haites, and it really just follows Daisy and her family. She has this brother who, I just love the brother. He's a mobster or criminal or something. Like, it's just what you don't expect from the British. No judgment. But he's at so he steals art stuff, and you have her, and their parents died when they were young, so he kind of had been taking care of her. And then you have Christian, who's absolutely in love with her, and he was in Magnolia Park, so now he's in this book. But again, it's very messy, it's very interesting. I am looking forward to getting back into the universe. I have not read. I read these two in January, and February was such a huge reading month for me. I had to read other stuff, so I haven't really read more of the books, but I do have them, and I hope to kind of dive back into the universe in in March. So that's that related to the Daisy Haites. And then after that, I got into Mafia romances, y'all. I did, and absolutely loved it. So I was using my phone to film, and I ran out of memory. So let's continue. So I also got involved in got into Mafia romances, and I read several books. So in December, I continued with the Brutal Birthright series. And then in January, I read book number 5, which is Broken Vow. And that follows Riona Griffin. And I think Griffin is the brutal prince. I think that's his sister, if I'm thinking correctly. I get them all mixed up. So it follows her and Raylan. Raylan was the bodyguard that they hired in the previous book to kind of help with the Simone and Dante, if I'm thinking correctly. And so Raylan kind of likes Riona, and so in this book, an attempt is made on Riona's life, and Raylan has been asked to be her bodyguard. So he's her bodyguard. He's in the house with her, and so sparks kind of happened, and kind of the story goes from there. What I like about it is that Raylan is a Southern boy, and I love Southern boys. He grew up on a farm, so you see some parts of that in him. You also kind of see it in his temperament. And so it's just so beautiful how their story kind of develops. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but they also at some point introduce his family, and it's just kind of see how his family just loves him, and just seeing him in a whole different environment outside of in the big city. It's just such a beautiful story. Not the best one of all the stories, but I enjoyed it. So I gave it a 3.5 stars. And then I went back to the Alliance series by S.J. Tilly and read King and also Nero. So Nero, I enjoyed Nero. It was the book follows Nero and Peyton, and something happens. He came into her apartment, and she kind of jumped into her apartment. He was running from something, and then eventually he left, and then he was across the street and started stalking her. I don't know, all this stalking stuff. I don't know, is that in? Like, people like that? I don't get it. So he was stalking for her, and eventually he fell for her, and they fell for each other. What I like about S.J. Tilly's books, you see that with Dom, you see it in Nero, you also see it in King, is that these guys are mature men. You know, they're like guys in their upper 30s, early 40s. They've lived a very good life, and they know what they want. So when they meet these women, it's like, you're mine, that's it. And I think that's a line in almost every book, you're mine, you're mine. And so they're very confident in themselves, confident in what they want, and know what they want. And the women are, you know, they're all cute, and some of them a little bit bigger than others, and it's just nice to see plus size heroine being loved in some of these books. So I love Nero a lot. I absolutely enjoyed it. I give it a 4 stars. And then after that, I read King, and King follows King and Savannah. So Savannah was out on a date with her boyfriend. She goes to her friend's house, and it wasn't her boyfriend, some dude she was dating that was a complete creep. Anyway, she goes to the friend's house, and King is there. Then eventually she runs into King again and witness something that she shouldn't witness. And so King kind of like takes her and decides, well, since she witnessed me doing something I shouldn't do, if I marry her, then she won't be able to testify against me. And so anyway, things transpire from there, and it just kind of follows their love. I absolutely love this book. King is everything. Again, back to the confident, mature man who is self-aware and knows what he wants. you just kind of see it in these characters. I absolutely love the book. I gave it a 4.5 stars. Dom too, I love Dom. I know I gave it a 3.75 stars. I was kind of being harsh on like some of the Mafia romances, but if I had to rethink my rating, Dom is probably a 4.25. Absolutely love the book. I thought it was great. It was just a fun ride to see these guys just loving these women. Anyway, so those are the books that I read this month. I mean, in January. Hope you guys enjoyed them. I had some physical books, but most of it, the Mafia romances, I read on my Kindle. I have Kindle Unlimited. So again, this is what I got that I can kind of show you. So thanks for riding with me. Please, if you like the content that I'm providing, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye bye.